I would like to welcome everyone to this year's graduating exercise. At this time, would you kindly stand for the playing of our national anthem and remain standing for the invocation delivered by Father Crispo, pastor of St. Margaret's Church.
So you'll all be familiar and feel at home. I want to interrupt my presentation with a commercial. I first want to congratulate all the members of the class of 1989, their parents and teachers, and the Burlington community. When the president of the class and the committee through Dr. Saffredini invited me, I was in a quandary. I know you can't pray at school functions, and I know Burlington, thank God, has a moment of silent reflection, but how do you give a silent invocation? So instead of a prayer this afternoon, I'm going to give a lesson in early American history. And we're going to call upon the Native American folklore, and I dedicate their cultural form to each and every member of the class of 1989. O Great Spirit, whose voice I hear in the winds and whose breath gives life to all the world, hear me. I am small and weak. I need your strength and wisdom. Let me walk in beauty. Make my eyes ever behold the red and purple sunset. Make my hands respect the things you have made, and my ears sharp to hear your voice. Make me wise, so that I may understand the things you have taught my people. Let me learn the lessons you have hidden in every leaf and rock. I seek strength not to be greater than my brother, but to fight my greatest enemy, myself. Make me always ready to come to you with clean hands and straight eyes. So when life fades as the fading sunset, my spirit may come to you without shame. Amen.
Kindly be seated. Father Crispo, members of the school committee, Mr. Michael, invited guests, colleagues, members of the class of 1989, family and friends. Today we gather to honor you, the graduates of the class of 1989. This ceremony marks the successful completion of a major goal in your lives. It is a special day for you as well as for me, since you were entering your freshman year when I arrived at Burlington High School 4 years ago. 4 years ago, we first met one hot August morning in our auditorium. You looked young, somewhat intimidated by what experiences lied ahead, but certainly bright-eyed and eager for the new challenge. We talked about what impact we wanted to have upon our school and how quickly the time would pass, among other things. Here we are today, 4 short years later, and as I reflect upon your contributions to Burlington High School, I must summarize by saying that you have been an outstanding group of fine young people. You have helped change the climate at Burlington High School significantly to the positive, and you will be remembered as a class with clear leadership, talent, dedication, and superb school spirit. As you leave Burlington High School, it is my hope that you have taken from it the highest of moral values and ethical standards which we have attempted to instill. Upon these foundations, you will build your life's direction, and your character, which will form the framework of your daily lives, will require strength and compassion. Abraham Lincoln spoke of character in this manner: character is like a tree and reputation like its shadow. A shadow is what we think of it. The tree is the real thing. The true measure of oneself is in the depth and strength of one's character. It is also my hope that you have been selfish about your education. Through education, doors of opportunity are opened, barriers of prejudice are destroyed, and self-actualization can be achieved. Whether you pursue a career in the technical, manual, or human service fields, knowing and understanding more about yourself, your community, and the world around you will enable you to make better decisions about the many choices which will face you throughout your lives. Just remember the words of one of this country's greatest statesmen, Benjamin Franklin. He said, "If a man empties his purse into his head, no man can take it away from him. An investment in knowledge always pays the best interest." Lastly, it is my hope that as you grow through life, you will always share in the respect for others. Each one of us is a precious human being. Without that respect, life has no meaning. To quote H.L. Mencken, "You can't do anything about the length of your life, but you can do something about its width and depth." Respect the dignity of others. Show compassion for the less fortunate and for those who are mistreated. Remember, kindness is a virtue appreciated by everyone. And Mark Twain defined kindness as a language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see. Your compassion for others will give you a sense of personal satisfaction and individual fulfillment. Now, as you sit here on this afternoon, you look young, not as you did 4 years ago. You are perhaps somewhat intimidated by what experiences lie ahead, but certainly you are still bright-eyed, and I am confident, eager for life's new challenges. Good luck in the future, and God bless each and every one of you. Thank you. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you a young man who has been a true leader among his peers. He has worked hard to make his class a successful one, and he has gained the respect of his peers and faculty through his dedication and commitment. Please help me welcome the president of the senior class, MARC EHRGOTT.
Reverend clergy, members of the school committee, Mr. Michael, Dr. Suffardini, faculty, invited guests, parents, relatives, and friends, and fellow graduates. Over the past 3 years, I have had the pleasure of being class president. You have made me proud to say I am one of the leaders of this fine group. There is no doubt that we have been the best class in the school each of the 4 years we've been here, and you truly deserve the respect and applause from everyone here today. I have seen us grow into mature, responsible adults, and will, in the future, be glad to be remembered as a member of the class of 1989 here at Burlington High School. Over the years, each of us has made many new friends. We have become well-rounded young men and women, accustomed to this secure environment called school, a place where we were allowed to grow physically, intellectually, and socially. Whether it be academics, athletics, or other extracurricular activities, each member of the class of 1989 has set and attained his own unique goals. But now it is a time for change. We must leave Burlington High School, a place which has been a great influence on us over the past 4 years. Every student sitting behind me right now will not return in September, yet we will begin now to lead our own lives. The unity shared among us through the years must now break. Some of us will further our education at college, some will go into the service, and some will go to work. But whatever we do and wherever we go, let it be a challenge. Challenge yourselves in every aspect of your lives and overcome obstacles that will hinder your success. Through this determination and commitment to excellence, each of us will become better people every day of our lives. As we continue to try to improve and strive for perfection, we will make the place we live more productive and favorable, thus leading to the benefit of all mankind. Each of us should work hard in our field and stand up for our values. Do not take the easy road, yet force yourself to resist the temptations of society. There are many overpowering problems in the world today, and it is not probable that all of them will cease. However, if we continue to have pride and show that we care, we can say that we are part of the solution, not the problem. We now enter a new stage of life. Each of us should consider ourselves independent, a person able to make decisions and hold greater responsibilities. Although we will lose our physical unity when we leave the field today, the class of 1989 will always be together. It is impossible for anybody to take away the memories we have shared throughout these school years. They are something that will be remembered forever. We are a class that is well represented. Every individual has many talents that will soon be put to use, and eventually we will become the leaders. Each and every one of us has the ability to become successful. However, if our dreams are not fulfilled, let us pray that each of us will have happiness, for that truly is the ultimate goal in life. Good luck, good wishes, and congratulations once again, class of 1989. Thank you.
As you know, today's commencement exercise helps to conclude an illustrious career as superintendent of schools for Mr. Michael. Mr. Michael has been instrumental in the development of an outstanding school system which shares a very strong reputation across the Commonwealth. I've had the distinct pleasure of working with him over these past 4 years, and I must state that he will be missed as our superintendent. I've admired him as a professional educator, but more importantly, I have revered his friendship during this time. Please welcome our retiring superintendent of schools, Mr. Thomas Michael. Mr. Michael, in appreciation of your hard work and dedication and the friendship that you have given us over these years, I'd like to present you with this silver dish that commemorates today's graduating ceremony. Mr. Michael.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Supperdini, Reverend Clergy, President MARC, Chairperson of the School Committee, Chris Monaco, honored guests, graduates of class of 1989, and parents and friends and loved ones of the graduates. I wish to congratulate you on reaching this happy milestone in your young lives. It was some 38 years ago that I too enjoyed a similar day, wondering at that time what would life be like in the years ahead. Here I am 38 years later, and I'm also participating with you in some form of a graduation in my lifetime. The years pass very quickly, almost as quickly as blinking an eye. And just as you are reflecting on your futures, all of us sitting here are instrumental in assisting and supporting you in reaching your future's goals. After 32 years in education, 20 of which have been served in Burlington, I am proudly conducting my last official act as superintendent of schools, and I couldn't be any happier today since it is your graduation and you are, and always will be, a very special class in my memories. Your graduation today represents a time of reflection upon your past experiences, and more importantly, paradoxically at the same time, it represents a looking ahead as to what will be and what you will become as you enter the decade of the 90s, and yes, even the 21st century. Life is not a dress rehearsal, and you have one chance at it. It isn't easy, but it is exciting, and it can be most rewarding. That will depend on each of you. You will be in control. No one else will be able to be accountable for what you write in the chapters of your lives. You will bear that sole responsibility as to how you live it. Our mission in the Burlington Public Schools these many years, the 13 that you've been with us, through the teachers and administrators, supported by your parents and the citizens of the community, has been to prepare you for what lies ahead. To have met all of your needs, regardless of what they were, whether you were the gifted, whether you had special needs. To help bring out the best in you, making you feel worthy as a human being, making you proud of your uniqueness and your worth. That too was a very important part of our mission. To challenge you to use your God-given talents to the fullest, having you put to the test all of your abilities and creativeness. Not settling for mediocrity, settling for the very best that you had to give. To instill within each of you and in your hearts a faith and belief in yourselves, in your families, in your community, in your state, in your nation, and in your God. To develop within you a compassion and a concern with all of the people in our society, the sick, the downtrodden, the poor, the homeless, all who need a helping hand. And also to develop within you a tolerance and an understanding for all ethnic groups and minorities who are brothers and sisters of the human race. To have fanned the flames of courage in facing the unknown while sticking to your convictions is also a very important mission. Who will ever forget what has just recently happened in China, watching a student standing in front of armored tanks and stopping that procession because of what he believed in, and the many lives of students who had these convictions seeking democracy in their country. Who will forget that? That too was our mission in dealing with your education. We have always tried to bring out the best in you so that you can bring out the best in others. Please view life never with an air of defeatism, but with the fire of optimism that good can come by giving it your very best. We've always attempted to instill within you all of that which is good, and hoping that that will be your legacy in future generations. The world can be a better place in which to live, and one of your responsibilities will be to commit yourself to making it just that for those who come after you. We have tried to forge within you the wisdom and knowledge in knowing that happiness and success come to those who know in their hearts that they have given the very best of themselves. We cannot ask any more of that from you. Helen Keller, a very courageous woman who was a pillar of courage with her blindness and deafness, once wrote, "When one door of happiness closes, another opens. But often we look so long at the closed door that we do not see the one which has been opened for us." While we reflect with happiness on the door of the past just closed, as marked by this graduation, let us know with resolve, and let us work with resolve, looking towards the door of the future, which has now opened for you, the door of the 90s and the 21st century. Walk through it with the knowledge that you can make a difference. You must make a difference. We need you. Commit yourself in providing some increment of influence and leadership that will keep our freedom and democracy strong while enriching the lives of others less fortunate in the process. I hope that I have, in some small measure, provided some influence over these 20 years in Burlington, 13 of which you and I, graduates, have walked together on that educational path. I hope I've enriched your lives in some small way. If I have, then I am a very happy and a very lucky man to have known each of you. To the parents and friends of the community of Burlington, Again, thank you, because what you see in front of you, our young people, are our most precious possessions. And you, to your good wishes, have recognized that over these many years with the support that you've given Burlington Public Schools. Congratulations, class of 1989, on your graduation, and may your lives be blessed with an abundance of happiness, good health, and success in whatever you do. Thank you very, very much.
Please allow me at this time to introduce to you the chairperson of the school committee, Mrs. Christine Monaco.
Thank you, Mark. Good afternoon, Father Crispo, Mr. Vanella, Mr. Michael, Dr. Suffredini, parents, families, friends, and especially graduates. The recent Boston College graduates have informed me that there are two kinds of speeches, those that are too long and those that aren't short enough. So I kept that in mind. On behalf of the entire Burlington School Committee, I congratulate all of you and wish each of you much happiness and good fortune as you leave Burlington High School to begin your long, intriguing journey through adulthood. Each of you has learned a great deal during your 13 years of school. Just as your knowledge and understanding of complex educational concepts has expanded, so has your maturity, vision, and social consciousness. There is a great deal in store for your generation, like so many before you, as you step over the threshold of adulthood and you begin to face life's challenges. You are fortunate. Unlike your parents' and your grandparents' generations, you are free to pursue your ambitions without the onus of being sent to fight a war on foreign soil. As you begin your journey in a world of relative peace, remember those wars that have been fought by brave men and women before you. You must never forget. You must never allow the memory of war to fade, lest the passage of time diminish its horror and increase its chances of recurrence. There are other wars for you, battles that you must fight for yourselves, for your children, for your parents, for each other. The war against poverty, the war against illiteracy, the war against disease, the war against drugs, the war against crime. You must fight for and with each other, with a passion for justice and a passion for life, to stop the savage and brutal destruction of the young and old alike by these insidious forces that respect no bounds. This is your charge. You as a group face challenges of tremendous importance to the future well-being of mankind. You are your brother's keeper. As members of the human race, you have no greater or more precious resource than each other, and you have no greater obligation than that to each other. You will be required to make decisions, perhaps difficult ones, which will affect not just yourselves, but others as well. Some of your decisions may be popular, and you will be applauded for your wisdom, while others may be unpopular, and you'll be chastised for your insensitivity. It is certainly easier to comply rather than face adversity, but you must always adhere to your convictions, for they are the very essence of your being. As John F. Kennedy so appropriately stated in his Profiles in Courage, the same basic choice of courage or compliance continually faces us all. A man does what he must, in spite of personal consequences, in spite of obstacles and dangers and pressures. That is the basis of all human morality. To be courageous requires no exceptional qualifications, no magic formula, no special combination of time, place, and circumstance. It is an opportunity that sooner or later is presented to us all. In whatever arena of life one may face the challenge of courage, whatever may be the sacrifice he faces if he follows his conscience, each man or woman must decide for himself the course he will follow. And for this, each man must look into his own soul. It is with hope, excitement, and anticipation that we look to the future. We believe in you. You have so much to give, and you have the courage, the confidence, and the conviction to do so. George Bush spoke of 1,000 points of light, but maybe he was underestimating, because when I look over this field, I see 312 points of light graduating right here today. As you finish this chapter of life, let me wish you the very best, and borrowing a bit from my favorite Irish blessing, until we meet again, may God hold each and every one of you in the palm of his hand. Thank you.
Our class valedictorian is an individual who has achieved the #1 ranking each marking period during his 4 years at Burlington High School. However, his efforts have not all been applied to the classroom. He is a well-rounded student who has participated in many other community activities. He is the co-president of his youth group. He was a member of the DARE program at the school and also a representative of our student council for 2 years. He was an active member of the varsity hockey team and for the past 2 years has also been a member of the National Honor Society. He was recently named Teenager of the Year by the Billerica Lodge of Elks. He will attend Brown University in the fall to study medicine. It is with pleasure that I introduce to you our class valedictorian, Adam Chaffetz.
Reverend clergy, Mr. Michael, Dr. Safradini, members of the school committee and administration, teachers, family, friends, and fellow graduates. I came to this podium with the intention of bestowing praise upon the Burlington High School class of 1989 for all that it has accomplished in 4 outstanding years. However, I believe now is the time to start looking forward to all that the class of 1989 can still achieve. We must begin to concentrate upon the future, not only ours as individuals, but the entire nation's as well. Our graduation marks the end of our dynamic high school career, but even more important, it signifies the beginning of a future that can be far more promising. This is not to say that we should forget about the past and all we have attained, for that would be committing a great injustice. Ours has been one of the most distinguished and innovative classes ever to pass through Burlington High School. There is no doubt that we have made a significant impact upon the school as well as upon the entire community. The class of 1989 transcended traditional lines. We introduced new ideas and challenged old ideals. However, all that we have accomplished must not be concluded here. It is imperative that we translate our experiences, both good and bad, into our future endeavors. If the past is any indication of events to come, there is nothing we cannot achieve. In our every undertaking, we must continue to care, continue to do what we believe is right, and continue to be the best. It may sound like a cliche, but we are the hope of the future, and it is our duty to make that future a bright one. As we now leave the security of our homes and families and enter the real world, we will find that it is not always warm, kind, and just. Therefore, each of us must be ready to accept the new challenges and confront the dilemmas that lie ahead. When we recognize this fact and assume this responsibility, we take our first real step into adulthood and maturity. We must begin to focus on the good of all, not just the good of one. Where to go on Saturday night will no longer be a critical decision. Politics, the quality of life, the future of education, and the threat of nuclear war. These are the quandaries we are compelled to deal with. It is up to our generation to discover a cure for AIDS and a means for protecting the environment. We cannot wait for someone else to act. We are obliged to do what we are able. It is now our turn. Each of us, as members of the class of 1989, whether we have chosen the work world, the furthering of our education, or the military, has something special to give. Who is to say that one of us present today is not going to discover a cure for some dreaded disease, become a captain of industry, or even become president of the United States? What we contribute is up to us alone. How fortunate we are to be living in a country that is free from war and that allows us the opportunity to express our hopes and dreams and encourages us to take the necessary steps to fulfill them. That we have problems we cannot deny, but these seem so minuscule compared to those of China, Iran, Afghanistan, and so many third world nations plagued by war, widespread famine, disease, and poverty. We must care, we must make personal sacrifices, and we must have the fervor and tenacity to do our best, not only for ourselves, but for all mankind. To some, what I have been saying may seem irrelevant to the present situation. It concerns responsibilities that lie in the future and therefore need not be worried about at this time. However, this is far from the truth. Soon, many of us may be starting families. What is accomplished today strongly affects the world in which our children will be reared. What once appeared crucial in our early years will suddenly seem trivial. Do not be fooled. Everything we do can and will make a difference. So often, commencement speeches are filled with wise words from famous presidents, poets, or philosophers. Ironically, the quote I chose was by that celebrated cartoon character, Charlie Brown. When I was an infant, my parents bought me a poster that is still above my bed today. Charlie Brown, standing on a pitcher's mound with a perturbed look on his face, emphatically states, and I quote, "There is no heavier burden than a great potential." Every member of the class of 1989 has this great potential. Let's show this world what we can accomplish. Congratulations and good luck.
The class salutatorian is the individual who has been academically ranked number 2 overall among his graduating peers. He is also a well-rounded student who has great involvement in both academics and extracurricular activities. He has been a member of the high school band each of his 4 years here at Burlington High School. He also has been a member of the National Honor Society for the past 2 years. He recently returned from Hershey, Pennsylvania, where he participated on the All-Star Math League team. He was just named an Eagle Scout and is a National Merit Scholar. He will attend the University of Massachusetts and major in computer science. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you now our class salutatorian, Gary GENGO.
Faculty, administration, parents, distinguished guests, and fellow graduates. Today we, the members of the class of 1989, are recognized for our successful completion of high school. However, these past 4 years at Burlington High School have been both challenging and rewarding, mainly due to the dedication and support of the faculty, administration, and the town of Burlington. We, the class of 1989, are fortunate to have benefited from the many experienced and resourceful teachers. They have done more than just relay information. They have encouraged us to actively participate in our education, to express our ideas, and to think critically and analytically. Most of all, they've instilled in us a desire to learn and to achieve. Likewise, the administrators have done much more than just manage the school. They have taken a strong personal interest in us and have encouraged us to apply ourselves and to succeed in our endeavors. Thanks to them, we have a solid foundation on which to build our futures. A diverse and comprehensive education has been possible only through our hard-working school committee. For many years, they have demanded only the best for us, and in doing so, have helped make our school a better place to learn and to grow. Our education has also been greatly enriched under the auspices of Best Bet, a group of local businesses which makes generous financial contributions to our schools. Their sponsorship of many school field trips and donations of needed equipment have greatly enlarged and improved our school's facilities. Last but not least, the class of 1989 extends thanks to our concerned parents, those who were the first to inspire and encourage us to learn about our world. Throughout our educational careers, they have always supported us and urged us to reach our goals. Again, thank you all for giving our class the opportunities to show how much we are capable of doing. You have made these past 4 years the best 4 years of our lives. With your help, we have successfully prepared ourselves to meet the future challenges with enthusiasm, determination, and optimism. Throughout our lives, we'll always take with us that feeling of mutual pride between the Burlington High School and the great class of 1989. Thank you.
The class essayist is the student who has achieved the number 3 ranking overall in the past 4 years. He has not only committed himself to schoolwork, but also takes part in many extracurricular activities and has extensive involvement in community functions. He, along with Adam, is also co-president of his youth group. He was sports editor of our school newspaper, and for the past year has also been a member of the National Honor Society. He has been on our math league team for 3 years, and is also an active member of our track team. He will attend Syracuse University in September to study journalism. Please allow me to introduce our class essayist, Scott Green.
Reverend clergy, honored guests, administration, faculty, family, friends, and fellow graduates. Our time is finally here, the culmination of our 13 years of Burlington education. These final hours might so easily be compared to the final leg of the 400-meter relay race, which I have had the opportunity to familiarize myself with as a Red Devil trackster. To complete that home stretch in grand style is the objective in both instances. During this past year, those small white styrofoam cups used so often by the class of 1989 on the fence to share events and emotions with the community have come to symbolize much of what our class stands for. There have been wishes of good luck for our sports teams, congratulations to our victors, and most of all, encouragement in our moments of defeat. All of these messages became an integral part of the overwhelming school spirit that I believe characterizes us over these past 4 years as the finest class, this school has ever produced. Whenever there were questions, we attempted to answer them. When there was conflict, we openly debated it. In essence, when there were issues or problems within the school or community that were directly affecting us, the students of Burlington High School, we always felt compelled to do something about it. It was at these moments that the whole senior class shared similar ideas, felt strong emotions, and acted as one unit. What we have experienced, I'd like to think of as a unified vision. We became one unit and found our strength in that unity. As members of the class of 1989, we have shared many memories: academic, social, emotional, and even political. As I reflect upon my senior year and those grueling hours of burning the midnight oil and meeting term paper deadlines, I must honestly admit I sometimes found myself losing sight of the finer points. However, there were those moments of insight and inspiration, one of which occurred during my work on a sociology paper. Although many of the adults in the audience will remember this quote because they lived it, and perhaps it has been used in recent years, most of my classmates won't easily recognize it, but they can definitely relate to it. While turning back the clock to 1968, a year that actually shaped a generation, I came across the inspirational words of one of America's new heroes, Robert F. Kennedy. During that year's presidential campaign, he quoted, "Some men see things as they are and say, why? I dream things that never were and say, why not?" Although this was the first time I had ever encountered this passage, I immediately recognized its parallel to the class of '89. We wanted to do things that had never been done before, and we saw no reason why anything should prevent us from our goals. If any group of young adults was capable of such important action, it was our class. We did dream of things that never were, and the success or failure of some of these dreams was not because of a lack of effort on our part. It seemed as if, more than once, all 307 of us pulled together in giving that extra needed advice and positive nudge to move on, anytime support was necessary. These unified attitudes, ideas, and emotions of the class of 1989 have created a common aura of togetherness that will remain with us forever. Now we have reached the final step of what once seemed to be a never-ending staircase. As the 50th class to graduate from Burlington High School, we now look to the future, a future of anticipated success and personal accomplishment. Each year, the graduating seniors face a change. That is, the ending of one world, a world of the known and secure, and the beginning of another, one of the unknown and uncertain. With this change comes a necessary separation as our lives move in different directions, whether it be venturing into further study or the immense work world. The same will hold true for this class, but I believe only in the physical sense. For our unified visions will always serve as a strong spiritual bond. Never will there be a time when we will not be able to reminisce about the special moments, the periods we have spent helping, supporting, and yes, even opposing each other. Now that we have proved our unity and uniqueness, the foundations for all our adult lives are clearly visible to each of us. On behalf of my fellow graduates, I sincerely acknowledge thanks to the faculty, administration, parents, and community. Thank you.
At this time, we shall present the diplomas to the class of 1989. Graduates, as your name is called, please come forward. Mark Edward EHRGOTT. Adam Scott Chaffetz. Gary GENGO. Scott Russell Green. Kevin P. McKay. Amy Meredith Fowler. Kelly Elaine EHRGOTT. Melissa Marie DeAngelis. Andrea Marie Mahoney. Laura Harquist. Kristen R. Umili. Jeffrey Bluestein. Michael F. Bertolami. Joanne M. Borselli. Ernest E. Cavino. Paul P. Gee. Lisa Ann Mari. Glenn B. Stubbs. Scott Robert Vasquezi. Philip James Abramo. Kimberly Marie Aloisi. Dina Marie Amenta. Mark Steve Ananian. Edie J. Anderson. Richard H. Anderson. Julie Ann Aronis. Samantha Ann Ock. Daniel Joseph Aylward. Stephen M. Balistriere. Christopher Lee Barrows. Risa M. Bedchik. Alan Andrew Beck. Erin Louise Gullidge. Susan Ann Benacasa. Deborah J. Bickford. Scott Christopher Blanchett. Carrie Ann Boner. Heidi R. Brine. Laura Jean Brown. Andrea Janine Brush. Jason D. Brush. Walter Frank Bullock. Karen D. Burrow. Michelle Elaine Butler. Vanessa Caparo. Peter A. Caleri. Carla Ann Canizaro. Christine Elizabeth Capone. Michelle Ann Carr. Daniel Patrick Carey. Let me have that one. Deanne Marie Curry. John Patrick Carr. Robert Anthony Carrick. Allison Tricia Coswell. Pete W. Chadbourne. Andrea Angela Charas. Patricia Deanne Chamberlain. Dawn T. Chen. Sandy S. Chen. Heather Michelle Clementi. Kevin Paul Cody. Kevin Joseph Conley. Adina Cantardi. Pamela Marie Conti. Allison Jane Capola. Mary Luella Cordima. Lisa Ann Costa. Jason Joseph Crea. Scott Crowley. Kristen Ann Cuna. Brenda Lee Currier. Robin Marie D'Agostino. Michael Galakalis. Margaret M. Dennehy. Thomas David Danielle Jr. Karen A. Davidson. Mary Ann Camille DiCollegiero. John P. DiGiorgio. Alfred M. DeLeo. Andrew T. DeMello. Stephen Eric DeRosa. Kristen Marie DeSimone. Yvette Devereaux. Jennifer K. DeVingo. Eric G. Dickey. Julie Ann Dickinson. Maurizio DeDonna. Vincenzo DeDonna. Anthony Stephen DiLorenzo. Brian J. Doherty. Kristen A. Doherty. Margaret Rose Donnell. Jennifer Ann Dodson. Colvin Roy Dozois. Jennifer Ann Dykeman. Kimberly Ann Dyer. Laura L. Eagle. Linda L. Eagle. Robert H. Fallon. Lisa Michelle Fazo. Jennifer L. Perullo. Kristen Marie Finn. Kevin D. Finnegan. Robert D. Fitzgibbon. Melissa Joyce Forgione. Peter Anthony Forgione. Edward M. Forrestall. John W. Forsythe. Christine Lorraine Forty. Joseph G. Fortunato. Christopher John Fox. Christine Marie Galley. Mark P. Gelormini. Lisa Giordano. Ronald Arthur Gibbon. Christy E. Glynn. William Eric Goldstein. Andrea M. Goney. Kim Ann Garassi. Paul A. Grasso. Barry Griffin. Michelle A. Galino. Danielle Jan Hagan. Jennifer Ann Hartling. Lisa Marie Haley. Laura Hearn. Joseph F. Haggerty. Kimberly Susan Hydring. George Thomas Hemingway. Sabine Hike Sonja Holdridge. Michelle Patricia Hovass. Rachel Esther Howard. Michelle Christine Hernowitz. Todd Christopher Hernowitz. Glenn V. Ianoso. Angela Mary James. DeAndrea Janine Johnson. Sandra Elaine Johnson. Jennifer Ann Jones. Michael Robert Karpinski. Anthony Wayne Kasperzak. Brenda Marie Kennedy. Karen Ann Kajikian. Catherine Elaine Kilmartin. Brian P. Kinsley. David E. Knowles. Jason Jen Ho. Holly Ann Laveris. Jason A. Lamaris. Jody Marie Lamont. Regina Catherine Lamont. Daniel P. Lane. Heather A. Levy. Tom H. Lee. Robert S. Lee. Brian John Lipinski. Christine Lau. Michael Edward Lynch. Sojuan Gabrielle Lynn. Andrea Jane McAllister. Jennifer Macaluso. Keith P. McElhenney. Darlene Elizabeth Machado. Colin McGinnis. Richard A. McNeil. Matthew D. Magnarelli. Deborah S. Malkasian. Lisa Ann Marchese. Laura Lee Martell. Melissa Ellen Martin. Benita Mehta. Bridget Marie Maynard. Kevin W. McGilvery. Teresa Joan McGinn. Kelly Ann McKenna. Marin Lynn McKenney. Daniel Anthony McLaughlin. Michael T. McLaughlin. Pamela Ann McMullen. Kelly A. McSweeney. Christopher Michael Mera. Gina Cerise Mercurio. Michael James Merriam. Donna Marie Miano. Angela Nicole Melanzano. Lynn Margaret Malone. Carol M. Mr. Cowie. Joseph F. Moglia. James J. Molinari. Stephanie Monick. Mary Teresa Moore. Michelle Lynn Moore. Stephen James Moore. Tracy Ann Morgan. William Edward Musto. Scott W. Myers. Claude R. Myers. Julie L. Napoleon. Robert G. Nadella. Arthur Thomas Navola. Elizabeth Nickerson. John Victor Vitaro. Cheryl Lynn O'Callahan. Laurie Ann O'Gara. Joseph J. O'Hare. Susan J. Oliver. Patrick W. Osborne. Catherine Patricia Otis. John Michael Page Jr. Linda J. Parisi. Joseph Vincent Dominic Passanisi. Nalish R. Patel. John A. Patterson. William R. Petland. Michelle Deanne Frykowski. Patricia A. Perry. Wendy Lynn Perullo. Brian Paul Pescatori. Christina P. Peters. John M. Pickett. Matthew A. Picone. Jennifer M. Pierce. Daniel Ponziano. Nancy Deanne Potter. Derek Scott Powers. Lisa Ann Fazaniski. Laura Jean Quinlan. Melissa Ann Quinn. Catherine V. Renier. Greg Allen Raleigh. George Ralph. Oscar A. Ramos. Richard Allen Raynor. Erica Alexis Wright. Catherine J. Remelade. Kristen Marie Raposa. Michael L. Resendiz. Carla Jean Ringdahl. Lisa Beth Rustino. James M. Roberts. Derek Kane Roshan. Renee Janine Rogers. Cheryl Lynn Roquetin. Cynthia Marie Rollins. Nancy Marie Rogue. Christopher F. Rosati. Deanna Lynn Rosado. Joseph Lawrence Revito. Susan Joanne Saya. Brian D. Sanderson. Keith Martin Saxon. Stephanie Lynn Seabury. Neely Shaw. John R. Sharp Jr. Brian Thomas Shea. Holly E. Shepard. Michelle Allison Sidman. Gregory L. Skelton. Melissa Jane Smethurst. Archibald W. Smith. Roy E. Sorensen. Suzanne Spinelli. Lynn M. Sarabian. Sonia S. Cernbasa. Monica Jill Sam. Sean P. Stevens. Alan Jason Stoke. Kelly Ann Stubbs. Mark Richard Sturdivant. Kelly Lynn Salfaro. Dana Lee Swanstrom. Sean P. Sweeney. Anne Marie Tadeo. Stephen Tapley. Denise Marie Toro. Jacqueline Suzanne Taylor. Donna J. Terrio. Michelle Lynn Theron. Marie V. Theron. Melissa M. Theron. Jennifer F. Thompson. William Robert Tolan. Vernon Francis Torti. Kimberly A. Trigilio. Mary Claire Troiano. Linda R. Tully. Sarah Lynn Turner. Eric David Twitchell. John L. Vanella, Jr. Adrian Jeanette Vaughn. Richard Paul Ventura. Karen T. Vieira. Tricia M. Boner. Bernice Jolene Botany. Robert Patrick Westwater. Laura J. Wheaton. Christopher P. Wilcox. Gil Whittaker. Lynn Heather Yaffe. Charles Joseph Yavanian. James C. Young. Jason C. Young. David A. Zagzug. Stephen M. Zagzug. Stacy Lee Zajac. Jennifer L. Zamanian. William E. Zink. James D. Zuppi. Kimberly Ann Zuppi. I present to you the graduates of the class of 1989. On behalf of the faculty and the administration, I extend our sincerest congratulations to the graduating class of 1989. And I ask that each of you stand at this time for the benediction which will be delivered by Father Crispo. Please rise. It was horrible to hear of the molded in the whole Burlington High School system. Bless our graduates, their family, friends, teachers and faculty, citizens and political leaders of Burlington, the Commonwealth, and the country, that they might be instruments of your justice and your peace. In a special way, Almighty God, we pray that they might be instruments of peace for Lebanon and China, lands in such desperate peril. Bless us all, that we might in our lives be icons, be images of your presence, that in us and through us, others might know light, love, and peace. This blessing we ask of you, Almighty God. You are ever one. May all praise be yours now, forever, and for ages unending. Amen.
How do I get
There he is. Right there.